When I really heard about it, and I can remember exactly, I was with my friend Philip Prowse, who's a director, and we were going to a bar called Troll, which was in the side of heaven. And weirdly enough, it had these kind of cruising areas which were kind of great big coffins that you could stand in. And as we were going in, we met a friend, and he said to us, "Oh God, have you heard about this whole thing? Apparently there's a gay cancer happening, and you can get it from sex." And then it just kind of, then it really snowballed. At this point, we'd started seeing people who had the disease, and it was a very, very terrifying looking disease. Some people, would be, it hit different people in different ways, but in the early days, when it seemed that a lot of people got really infested by Kaposi sarcoma, and so you would see people really like the Elephant Man on the street. And once that had started, there was a kind of panic in the whole of society, and you'd notice going to, say, Sunday lunch with friends who had families, that the wife would take your plate and knife and fork rather gingerly from the table and take it separately to wash up on its own, and that's just what happened. And I didn't think you felt angry about that. It was understandable, because also then when one's own friends started having the same thing happening, you yourself were terrified, because you didn't know whether it was going to happen to you or whether it was not going to happen to you. So
did your behaviours change at all?
My behaviour changed completely. I became celibate for at least probably until about 1985. For 3 years, between 82 and 85, I was celibate. I was so terrified, because remember, you couldn't get a conclusive test until, I don't know which year, 1986 maybe, the HIV test. And up until then, you could test your white blood cells or things like that, but it wasn't by any means conclusive. So I spent my whole life, I suddenly broke as an actor quite well in films, but I was under total scrutiny. As an actor, you're endlessly being photographed, and I was terrified lest, one day someone would come to me and say, "What's that on your face?" And I would be, revealed in the most public way possible. So my most successful years, in a way, when I was a kid becoming a star, were also plagued by this. They were really years of living in terror, actually,